Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and Viksit Bharat at 2047. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Humanitarian Day on August 19th every year. The theme for 2025 is a call to act for humanity. Call on those in power to act for humanity. On 19th August, we mark World Humanitarian Day, a time to honor those who step into crisis to help others and to stand with the millions of people whose lives hang in the balance. This year, the message is clear. The humanitarian system is stretched to its limits, underfunded, and overwhelmed under the attack, where bombs fall and disasters strike. Humanitarian workers are the ones holding the line, keeping people alive, often at great personal risk. But more and more, those who help are becoming targets themselves. In 2024 alone, over 380 humanitarian workers were killed, some in the line of duty, others in their homes. Hundreds more have been injured, kidnapped, or detained, and there is reason to fear 2025 could be worse. Too often, the world looks away even when these attacks violate international law. Laws meant to protect all workers are ignored, especially aid workers. Those responsible walk free, and the silence and lack of accountability cannot continue. The system is failing not just humanitarian workers, but the people they serve. We are not at crossroads anymore. We are standing at the edge. Needs are rising. Funding is falling. Attacks on aid workers are breaking records. So, to pull us back from that edge, the Humanitarian Day, we are launching Act for Humanity with sharper urgency, demanding protection, accountability, and action. It's time to turn global outrage into real pressure on those in power, asking them to protect humanitarian workers and the civilians they serve, uphold international humanitarian law, fund the lifelines we claim to support. If we can't protect the people who save lives, what does that say about us? If we let this continue, we risk losing not just a system, but our sense of humanity. Let's watch a short video.
To those in power,
Why is there no action by those in power?
we look to you to uphold your obligations. You committed to protect civilians in war, to protect the humanitarian workers, to support the lifeline they provide. This is the result of your failure, of a broken promise to humanity. How much more do you need to see before you act?
Our world is in crisis. Climate change, natural disaster, famine, terrorism, conflict, human trafficking, mass migration. There have never been so many people in dire need. Millions are fleeing violence, rape, and unimaginable brutality. Millions more lack shelter, medicine, and food. Many face persecution, exploitation, and abuse. For these people, humanitarians are often their only hope, their only help. Humanitarians serve at the front line of the world's crisis hotspots. Humanitarians stick around when the news cycle moves on and the cameras are long gone. They risk their lives to save others. But humanitarians need help too. The challenges are huge. The problems are complex. There are no easy fixes. Vast resources have to be gathered, coordinated, and deployed. This is where OCHA comes in. It's our job to help humanitarians so they can help the millions of people caught up in crisis. We give humanitarians the facts they need to act effectively. We arrange funding. We negotiate access in danger zones. We urge world leaders to take action. We are OCHA. We help humanitarians save lives.
So in 2025, 305.1 million people in 72 countries need humanitarian assistance, requiring $47.4 billion in funding, as per OSHA Global Humanitarian Overview 2025. Around 400 million children in one in five globally live in or fleeing conflict zones, as per OSHA Global Humanitarian Overview 2025. 4 out of 5 civilian deaths in conflicts occurred in countries with humanitarian appeals. Over 58,700 civilians were killed in 2024. And in 2023, 363 climate-related disasters displaced 26.4 million people, impacting homes, food systems, and economies. And despite its cost effectiveness, cash and voucher assistance, in short known as CVA, stagnated at 23% of global humanitarian aid in 2023. 11 million people are internally displaced in Sudan, that is 30% of the population. In 2024, the UN verified over 36,000 civilian deaths in 14 armed conflicts, many due to explosive weapons in urban areas. By mid-2024, 122.6 million people were forcibly displaced, a 5.3 million increase in 6 months. In Gaza, 90% of the population, 1.9 million, was displaced. Over 360 humanitarian workers were killed in 2024, 200 in Gaza alone, making it the deadliest year on record. More than 52 million children were out of school due to conflict in 2024. In Gaza, 12,035 students and 492 teachers were killed. 88% of schools were damaged. 280 plus million people faced high levels of food insecurity in 59 conflict affected areas. Sudan saw 25 million affected and 7,55,300 people faced catastrophic famine level conditions. So join the campaign call to action. When protection is denied and accountability is absent, our voices, actions must fill the world. Aid workers keep going into danger through checkpoints under fire. They show up. They must be. Use our voice, every post, tag, and conversation. Build pressure for protection. Share, speak out, and demand action using Act for Humanity. Fund the lifeline. Humanitarians can't deliver without safety or support. Help keeping and flowing and protecting. Aid workers, especially local responders. Mobilize. Across cities, campuses, and communities, people are talking a stand, taking a stand. Show leaders the world is watching. Create with purpose. Artists, storytellers, influencers your art platforms and brands to stir emotion and inspire action. Make this message impossible to ignore. On 19th August 2003, a bomb attack on the Canal Hotel in Baghdad, Iraq killed 22 humanitarian aid workers, including the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General for Iraq, Sergio Villaradi Mello. 5 years later, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution designating 16th August as World Humanitarians Day, in short known as WHD. Each year, WHD focuses on a theme bringing together partners from across the humanitarian system to advocate for the survival, well-being, and dignity of the people affected by crisis and for the safety and security of aid workers. WHD is a campaign by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA. So, one of the purposes of the United Nations, as stated in its charter, is to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character. The United Nations first did this in the aftermath of the Second World War on the devastated continent of Europe, which it helped to rebuild. The organization is now relied upon by the international community to coordinate humanitarian relief operations due to natural and man made disasters in areas beyond the relief capacity of national authorities alone. The 2025 Global Humanitarian Overflow highlights the growing scale of crisis and the urgent need to fully fund humanitarian action under the theme Strengthening Global Solidarity and Empowering Local Communities. It underscores the vital role in frontline responders and the unprecedented threats facing by civilians and aid workers, with over 35% of the 2024 appeal funded. Millions go without help they need. The overview presents global trends, humanitarian responses, and the devastating human cost when resources fall short, and conflict and climate disaster. Today is also commemorated as International Orangutan Day on August 19th every year to show our support for orangutans. The day is meant to inspire people to take action to safeguard this amazing animal in the wild. It's no surprise that orangutans are intellectual because they share 97% of our DNA with humans. This could explain why the term orangutan means forest person in English. This day is marked to save species that are on the edge of extinction. The goal of International Orangutan Day is to raise awareness about the predicament of this species, which has progressed from endangered to critically endangered. Orangutans have been around for generations and are thought to be ancestors of gorillas. They are large apes who spend the majority of their time in trees and are only found in the jungles of Borneo and Sumatra. And the two species that live there were formerly thought to be the same. Further research has shown that they are two distinct species that separated some 4 lakh years ago. Orangutans have enormous arm lengths that reach about 7 feet from tip to tip, which impresses given that they only stand around 5 feet alone. Above the ground, when orangutans stand up straight, their hands are almost touching the ground. Their long arms complement their arboreal lifestyle, letting them move from tree to tree and construct shelters from canopies' massive leaves. Because orangutans spend 90% of the time in the treetops looking for food, deforestation is highly damaging to them. Orangutans are mostly herbivores, but omnivore orangutans will eat bark, insects, and even meat if it is available as a survival instinct. The tropical rainforest has been destroyed due to the farm's improper management. Furthermore, the farmers consider the orangutans to be nuisance and either kill them or burn the forest down. They have only around 20,000 survivors since 2006, but there should be more or less now. As a result of deforestation, the fundamental cause of such a tiny number of orangutan survival. And if it continues, the big apes will become extinct sooner. Raising awareness by commemorating International Orangutan Day can assist to increase the possibilities of this endangered species being rescued. Unfortunately, humans are the greatest threat to the survival of orangutans. Deforestation, for example, encroaches on their habitat. In addition, illicit hunting claims the lives of 3,000 orangutans each year. Some wildlife specialists believe the orangutan will become extinct in the wild over the next 50 years. Through several organizations are working to conserve orangutans. The Center for Orangutan Protection, the Sumatran Orangutan Society, the Orangutan Project, Orangutan Outreach, and the Human Society are few of these organizations. Today is also commemorated as World Photo Day or World Photography Day on August 19th. It celebrates the day when the French government purchased the patent for the daguerreotype process. The daguerreotype process is a photographic process that creates high detailed images on the sheet of paper copper plate within a thin coat of silver. This day requires participants to share a photo of their world, which can be anything the photographer chooses. The definition of photography is quite literally drawing the light, and the British scientist Sir John Herschel came up with it in 1839. He used the Greek word photos, which means light, and graph, which means drawing or writing. So Louis Jaguret was born on November 18, 1787 in Cornelis on Parsis, France. His family was middle class and he grew up during a time of greatest political upheaval with the turmoil that was French Revolution. The revolution involved the common people versus the Photography catches society's imagination, and the photographer who captures it and puts it on display in public may be found here or anywhere. Without the hand of a dedicated photographer, the images and art we adore would be nothing. So let us pay tribute to the photograph, and photographers by promising to give them credit where credit is due. Portrait photography, fashion photography, architecture photography, and landscape photography are just few of many forms of photography accessible today. This day allows people to honor the art of photography. Photographers that have a passion for the genre get together to share their approaches and thoughts with the rest of the globe. The day honors originality and intricacies in the world of photography. It's an opportunity to encourage more individuals to pursue the style of art that has captivated the globe for decades. The celebration of World Photography Day dates back to 1837 in France by inventing the celebration of World Photography Day dates back to 1837 in France by inventing the daguerreotype. Two Frenchmen named Joseph Nicephore Nepiki and Louis Duguerre created the first photography process in the West. On January 19, 1837, the French Academy of Sciences formally proclaimed the development of the daguerreotype. It is thought that 10 days after the announcement, the French government acquired the patent for the innovation and handed it to the world as a free gift with no copyright. While the French discovery is regarded as the beginning of commercial photography, William Henry Fox Talbot simplified the technique of photographing in 1839. Mr. Talbot developed a more adaptable photography method on salt prints on paper. The more adaptable technology competed with the metal-based daguerreotype. Over 40 years later, in 1884, George Eastman and Rothschild, New York perfected the daguerreotype method. He replaced the copper plate with a dry gel on the paper that he dubbed film. This technology eliminated the need for photographers to transport heavy copper plates and dangerous chemicals. Eastman created the Kodak camera in 1888. The invention made it possible for almost everyone to take a photograph. Photography has developed over time as a result of technological improvements and advancements. While there is a sea of variety in terms of approaches, aesthetics, angle, and quality, the language and substance stay the same. There was a period when new process for transferring pictures and illustrations from woodcuts and engravings and subsequently duplicating them were developed. With the rise of digital photography, many individuals no longer use the film in their cameras. Some photographers, however, prefer film over digital photography. Some of the reasons are their preferences for the film include greater resolution, there is no need for electricity, and fewer copyright claims. Concerns. Today is also commemorated as International Bow Day, which is celebrated annually on August 19 to honor the accessory that has influenced fashion for ages. that is Bose. Adding accessories to almost any outfit improves it significantly. Without a doubt, International Bow Day would be incomplete unless it was worn on the head, neck, wrist, or finger. Celebrating International Bow Day will encourage each of us to wear a bow, allowing us to share the beauty of wearing one with the rest of the world. Bows can be made from a variety of materials, including thread, equistine, velvet ribbon, raffia, and more. Traditional bow ties are usually of a fixed length and fashioned to fit a specific neck size. Sizes may range from 14 to 19 inches, as with corresponding shirt collar. Fixed length bow ties are recommended while wearing the most formal wing collar shirts and avoid revealing the buckle of the clasp of the adjustment bow. Bows can be tied in ribbon, latex, plastic, or even grass. In every case, they improve whatever you put on them. Presents are also tied with bows, and we all know how presents are the best. They can be anything, just like bows. Day is also commemorated as National Aviation Day in US on August 19th. Should make us stop and think about the power of flight, yet some scientific and technological marvelous becomes so commonplace that we seldom take time to re-examine their revolutionary impact with an open, inquisitive mind. In just a handful of generations, aviation went from pure pie in the sky speculation to a mundane reality that inspires about as much wonder as a trip on board a Greyhound bus. It's that who hum attitude to the miracle of flight that makes National Aviation Day such an excellent national observation. Plus, it takes place on Orville Wright's birthday. It is also commemorated as National Aviation Week from August 19 to 25. In US, this week is flooded with events such as conferences, exhibitions, webinars to celebrate the history of aviation. This week also coincides with National Aviation Club. Aviation is an invention that has existed for centuries in various forms because birds served as an example that living things can survive at a certain height inspired by their flights. Legends regarding human flight started to be introduced in ancient Greek mythology in the West and in the East, or on the entire planet. We have Pushpaka Vimanam and so many other references of flight long before even these so-called civilizations emerged. It is also commemorated as Revolution Commemoration Day in Vietnam. August Revolution Commemoration Day is observed on August 19th and it commemorates the 1945 revolution led by Ho Chi Minh that ended Japanese domination in Vietnam. The revolutionary anniversary is not a public holiday, but it is an important commemorative day. The autumn of 1945 will be remembered as a decisive turning point in Vietnam's national creation and defenders' history. The Vietnamese people rose in the Great Revolution shaking off the yoke of colonialism and feudalism to regain power and independence, and formed the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, the first state for farmers and workers in the world. Today is also commemorated as National Soft Ice Cream Day in US. Around the time of World War II, soft ice cream was born, though there was a battle over who started it. Carvel claims that the father of their brand, Tom Carvel, accidentally created soft ice cream when his ice cream truck got a little flat tire and he was forced to quickly sell off his melting wares. He soon returned and then set up a permanent shop selling his soft and ice cream with great success. Dairy Queen also claims to have invented soft serve in Illinois when J.F. McCollum and his son perfected their formula and had a massively successful all-you-can-eat trial at their friend's store. There are also reports that Margaret Thatcher, former UK Prime Minister, helped develop American soft serve recipes while working as a chemist at a food manufacturer. Today is also commemorated as National Potato Day in US. Spuds, this one for you, never celebrated tasty, thought before. Potatoes have been a popular food for centuries, so it's about time we recognize this versatile and appealing favorite. Mashed, smashed, chipped, or covered in cheese, potatoes can be eaten with just about every meal. So making these starchy veggies a delicious and easy way to get iron, potassium, and vitamins. The puns have just baked right in. Now just fry, stop us from telling you whole scoop on the what makes National Potato Day so spectacular. Day is also commemorated as Afghanistan Independence Day on August 19th. To celebrate Afghanistan independence from Britain because it was never part of British Empire. It is celebrated and commemorated Afghanistan became recognized in 1823 as the Empire of Afghanistan, which came into existence after the fall of Afghan Durrani Empire. Throughout history, Afghanistan has been a place of geographic importance. It was the center of ancient Silk Road in Central Asia and is the gateway of the Indian subcontinent. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in today's commemorations. See you all tomorrow at the same time with different commemorations and celebrations. Take care. Good night. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. The feedback form is open. I request everyone to fill up the feedback form. Take care. Good night.